welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna Coleman, a realtor with Century 21 New Millennium. I am a Maryland realtor, and today I'm going to discuss 5 myths about the home buying process. Now, this is more geared towards maybe first-time home buyers, or maybe if you haven't purchased a home in a long time. Here are 5 myths, 5 questions that I have been asked, some of the top questions I've been asked. So stay tuned and we're going to get started. But of course, before we get started, I would like for you to do me one favor, and that is just to hit the like button right down below. Smash that like button for me. Thank you very much. All right, the first myth about the home buying process. Number 1 is that the amount you're pre-approved for is yours. So what I mean by that is I've got questions from a few first-time home buyers or people who are interested in buying homes. What if I get pre-approved for $300,000 and I put an offer in on a home that's $280,000? Will I get that $20,000 back? Like, they want to know if they can put it down on a down payment or if they can use it towards something else. No. However much the home appraises for, that is how much your loan is going to be. So if you are approved for $300,000 and you get a house for $150,000, your loan will be for $150,000, and that's it. So no, even if you buy a house that's less for what you're pre-approved for, you won't get the difference between your pre-approved amount and the amount you bought the house for, or the amount that the house appraises for. All right, on to myth number 2. This is kind of like for sellers and buyers. I hope you guys like my little moonlight. I got this from Amazon and I'm in love with this little moonlight back here. So I just had to, throw it in the video. But anyway, appraisals will not be the same as your offer. So this kind of helps sellers out too. So when you're receiving offers and when you're placing offers, especially in this very competitive seller's market, the house could be, I'm going to say $280,000 again. So the house could be worth $280,000. You might get an offer for $300,000. So having an offer for $300,000 is all well and good, but if the house only appraises for $230,000, you're still buying the house for $230,000, unless there's some kind of negotiation that happens in between that time, unless there's some kind of addendum that says, hey, we're going to pay X amount over what it appraises for. Your offer is what is basically going to appraise for. So if you offer $300,000 and the home was listed for $280,000, and it appraises for $300,000, you will be paying $300,000 for that house. All right, and we're gonna go to the third myth. The third myth that I have is that you have to pay your realtor. So I've gotten asked quite a few times, taking people out, how much do I charge? How much does it cost to work with me? And it's absolutely free. If you're on the buying side, it's absolutely free. If you're on the selling side and you want to use a realtor, that's when it's going to cost you to use a realtor. And I will say, being a realtor, a lot of people think you're just showing the houses, you're just sticking signs in yards. It is not. It's just not that. It's a lot more to it. It's a lot more to it. I mean, between looking at contracts, dealing with appraisals, some of the lender information, you have to dabble, you have to, go all the way in on the legal stuff. You have to make sure everything is straight. So it's a lot more than just showing a house and, letting that be that. Realtors do not get paid from buyers in most circumstances. Now, you will have realtors now that list homes, and I mean, they're giving the other realtor on the buying side the least amount of commission possible. Some realtors are charging their buyers a little bit more, but at least in my area, you don't see that. It's pretty much 2.5 to 3% that you're going to get. So yeah, you do not have to pay a realtor. I just noticed that my TV is, the screensaver on my TV is on now. So excuse that. All right, so myth number 4, student loan debt. A lot of people think that if you have a lot of student loan debt, that you cannot get a loan. That is a myth. A lot of people have gotten homes that have high student loan, federal loans, private loans, it doesn't matter. You can still get a loan. Not saying everybody. Now, everybody's not gonna qualify, but I would not let having high student loan debt stop you from going to go see a lender. Seeing a lender is not going to hurt your credit, but only just a few points. So seeing the lender will help you figure out what your DTI is, your debt to income ratio. It will help you figure out what you need to do if you need to improve your credit and which loan will be best for you under your current circumstances or possibly your future circumstances. Getting approved for a FHA loan, a VA loan, a conventional loan will be totally different. So for instance, for FHA, if you have $50,000 student loan debt, well, they'll take 1% of your student loan debt, and that's how much they figure you pay every month. FHA is about 1%. Now, to get into the nitty gritty of every single loan, I don't want to quote off. I do know some more about like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. If you talk to a loan officer, you can see what's best for you. All right, and myth number 5, our last myth for today, myth number 5, is that you have to have a perfect credit score to buy real estate. Now, the higher your score is, the better. Once you get to, I would say once you get to about high 700s, having 800, 850, you know, that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter. But once you get to a certain credit score, the higher your credit score, the better your interest rates will be. Now, that is a fact. The higher, the better. But that does not mean that you can't be approved for a loan. Some of the federally backed loans like FHA, VA, USDA, those kind of loans, don't have like strict minimums. So typically it'll be around like 580, but some of those loans, I know especially USDA, don't exactly say what the credit minimum is. So you can have a 600 credit score, you can have a 590 credit score, but just be prepared that your interest rate is going to be a little higher. It's always a safe bet to get with me if you're in Maryland, or get with a realtor and get connected with a loan officer so you can really see what you're looking at. So that's the best way. I know I've said it quite a few times already now, but that's the best way to kind of get a good picture and see what actually you're looking at. So if your credit score is in the 400s, you already know that you have some work to do. It could take you months if you're in the 400 credit score range to get approved for a mortgage loan. If your problem is that you have a lot of debt, you may have to pay down that debt. If your problem is you don't have enough credit, you may have to get some credit cards. It really just depends on what your situation is and will determine how long you'll have to wait. I've helped people with their credit and it's gone up hundreds of points just by them getting a credit card. I'm not a credit expert or specialist. I don't claim to be. I just know a few things that have helped me raise my own credit score personally. So when I can, I try and share those tips. And that is it for myth number 5. Myth number 1, you do not get any money back that you were pre-approved for and did not use. Myth number 2, just because you offer a certain amount doesn't mean that that is what your offer is going to be. You have to put in other things for your offer to actually reflect higher than the appraised amount. Myth number 3, you do not have to pay your realtor as a buyer. The seller fees pay for all commissions, for the listing agent commission and for the buyer. Myth number 4, even if you have high student loan debt, that does not mean you can't qualify for a mortgage loan. And myth number 5, having less than perfect credit score does not automatically eliminate you from being qualified. The higher your credit score, the better, but you can still qualify for a loan. And with all that being said, that wraps up my video. I will be coming back with some more myths if you found this video interesting. Comment down below any other questions or things you may not be sure about the home buying process or home selling process for that matter. I think my next video is probably going to be geared more towards home selling. So I hope you like this video. Please give me a like I said before. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. And have a great one. See you in the next one.